Hey, welcome. We've all been there, right? That really tense negotiation, a super difficult client, maybe a big deal that feels like it's about to fall apart. Well, today, we're going to dive into a really powerful principle for turning those exact moments from, conflict into an actual collaboration. Let's jump right in.
So everything we're talking about today is really captured by this one thing, the Peacemaker card. But I want you to think of it as less of a card and more of a symbol for a whole mindset. It's kind of like a reminder that in any tough interaction, you can actually choose to play a very specific and very powerful role.
So let's just start with this one big question. What if you could flip the script? What if every single difficult conversation, every tough business deal, wasn't a battle you had to win, but instead, it was an opportunity to create something better for everyone involved? That's the whole idea we're digging into.
Okay, so our first big idea is what's called the call to diplomacy. This is really all about recognizing your role when things start to get tricky. See, the Peacemaker principle suggests that a difficult situation isn't just a roadblock. It's actually a signal. It's a specific call to action just for you.
And this right here, this is the core message. It totally reframes the entire challenge. So instead of just seeing a problem you have to deal with, the Peacemaker mindset sees it as a personal invitation, a moment where you can step up and apply a very specific set of skills. It's a huge shift from just reacting to being truly proactive.
And let's get super clear about what we mean when we say diplomacy and tact. This is not just about being polite or, trying to avoid a fight. It's an art form. It's a kind of strategic communication where you choose your words and actions really, really carefully, all with one goal in mind, finding that common ground. So where does this stuff actually play out in the real world? Well, the Peacemaker's arena is all about those high-stakes environments where these skills aren't just, nice to have. They are absolutely critical to success.
Just think about it for a second. From politics on the world stage all the way down to the boardroom, these are all situations where just pushing harder doesn't work. Whether you're trying to hash out a multi-million-dollar contract, navigate a really sensitive union dispute, or just close a complex business deal, your success depends entirely on your ability to be that peacemaker.
But look, having the skills is only one part of the puzzle. The real foundation of this whole principle is what we call the win-win attitude. This core mindset, this is what truly separates a real peacemaker from just your average negotiator. And here's the fundamental shift in thinking. The old-school, traditional win-lose mindset basically sees any negotiation as a battle. It's a zero-sum game, right? For me to win, you have to lose. The peacemaker just completely rejects that idea. A win-win attitude sees the whole thing as a collaboration. The goal isn't to beat the other person, it's to work with them to find a solution where you both come out on top.
And that brings us to the number one goal, the single most important objective for a peacemaker. Your main focus completely shifts away from just trying to get the biggest piece of the pie for yourself. Instead, the goal is to make the pie bigger for everybody. It's about building a lasting relationship, not just closing one deal.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do you actually do it when you're in the moment and the pressure is on? Let's break it down into a really simple, actionable process you can use the next time you feel that call to be a peacemaker.
It really just comes down to these 3 simple steps. First, you pause. Before you say or do anything, just take a breath and acknowledge what's happening. Second, pivot. This is where you make a conscious mental choice. You decide, okay, I am going to be the peacemaker in this room. And finally, you propose. You actively start looking for and suggesting solutions that are going to work for everybody. Pause, pivot, propose. It's a simple but really powerful blueprint for action.
And that really brings us to the end. The Peacemaker principle isn't just for politicians or, high-powered CEOs. It's a tool for anyone, for all of us, who wants to build better, stronger, and more productive relationships. So the final question is for you. What difficult situation, in your work or even in your life, will you choose to transform first?